Everyone wants to be rich, live in affluence, go on vacations, and, if possible, retire at 40. But despite working so hard, many still struggle to stay afloat financially. They seem not to identify what's preventing them from living this dream life. Warren Buffett once mentioned 5 financial mistakes many make in their 30s and how to avoid them. These things are all embedded in how they spend their money. Warren Buffett isn't just a successful or wealthy man. He has mastered the rules of wealth, and that's why he's still on top of his game. So, today, we are going to draw from his well of wisdom. If you want to be rich and escape living from paycheck to paycheck, pay attention to these common mistakes. And if you're yet to subscribe to the channel, why not do that now? So, what are the top 5 financial mistakes you must avoid? 1. Having a single stream of income. Take a good look at the likes of Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, and Dan Lok. They all have multiple money-generating sources. They didn't just become rich in a day. They've been seizing every opportunity to make more money from their early 20s. For instance, Elon Musk made his first millions at 27, Buffett became a millionaire at 30, and Mark Zuckerberg at 22. Obviously, a single stream of income did not get them there. Most of these prominent and successful people you know today have an entrepreneurial spirit, always ready to try out new things that will benefit them. Unfortunately, the middle class gets so comfortable with a single source of income, especially the young adults. Even if it's a well-paying job, imagine you get laid off tomorrow. Can you comfortably ignore job hunting for 3, 6 months without accumulating different soft loans? No matter how mouth-watering your 9-to-5 job pay is, it is risky to depend entirely on it. 2. The next top money mistake many make is living above their income. Have you ever wondered why the poor and middle class often try to appear rich, while those genuinely affluent, the billionaires, appear poor? I mean, these rich folks do everything possible not to display their wealth. They opt for casual attire like t-shirts and jeans, drive outdated cars, and live in average houses, all while holding net worths in the billions. It sounds really weird, right? This begs the question, why does the average man or someone who doesn't even have a percentage of their net worth try to look rich? Nowadays, it's easy to see a young man living larger and looking richer than those who are actually rich, with flashy and expensive possessions. Wealthy and successful people understand the importance of frugal living, but that doesn't mean they are being cheap. That is what most people fail to understand. You don't necessarily have to look rich while trying to be rich. For instance, spending a whole month's salary on a piece of suit and wristwatch while you have bills and other piled-up expenses staring you in the face is probably the dumbest thing you can do. For some, it's spending more as their income increases. This is a prevalent money habit among folks of middle age. They feel the need and urge to impress, show off, and look rich. It can be tempting to hike up the budget or even transform your standard of living altogether when your pay goes up, especially if it's a substantial increase to your income. Sure, there is no harm in raising your standard of living when you can, or having a good treat occasionally. But constantly raising your budget and overspending is a financial trap you must avoid, even if your income doubles. It's important to keep expenses and spending low while looking for ways to boost your overall wealth. According to Charlie Munger, people must live a life they can maintain in order to avoid financial constraints. The goal is to be rich, and not just to look rich, so there's no crime in appearing poor while working your way to riches. If you insist on living above your income, you'll always be dragged down in debt. Instead of spending on expensive stuff, why not invest in creating other sources of income? 3. Accumulating debt. It is not always easy to avoid debt, especially when your income is barely enough to cover your expenses. It will amaze you to know that most people enjoy taking up loans, especially people in their 30s. They want to feel the youthful vibe, live in a bustling city, and drive a Range Rover. It's more like a lifestyle to them. While others borrow to cover up genuine expenses, they do so for pleasure. Charlie Munger once said, and I quote, "Debt is like radioactive material. The useful energy is in it, but the stuff can be dangerous and tends to spread. So you must know what you're doing and keep it under control. You must be self-disciplined to achieve financial stability. That is what makes you different from others, or else you'll remain broke. If there's anything you must avoid in your 30s, it is relying too heavily on credit. Many people in this age range are always taking out loans, thinking they can easily pay them off. Racking up credit card debt or taking out a payday loan is an easy way to splash out on the flashy item you've always wanted, but the reality is, if you need credit to buy it, you can't afford it. Racking up debts of any kind is one of the most expensive bad money habits you can have. Not only can high interest rates make paying off debt almost impossible, but high balances on your credit card, especially if you miss a payment, can damage your credit score. So avoid throwing money down the drain and pay off your credit card balance in full every month to avoid the fees. And if you can't do that, perhaps get rid of it altogether. Do you desire to work on your own terms, earn more, and have financial freedom? It doesn't matter how long you have struggled with this habit. It's never too late to break free. What other money mistakes should you avoid? 4. Negative choices about money. There are so many negative perceptions middle-aged folks have as regards wealth and financial independence. Most people believe not everyone is meant to be rich. They feel some people are born poor and will die poor. That is a shallow way of thinking. Here's what people fail to realize. Everyone is born with the potential and ability to make wealth. However, your approach, coupled with the efforts you put in, will determine if you will actually be successful or not. Charlie Munger once said, "Your perception of money will impact your financial situation. This impact could be negative or positive. It all depends on you. If you're comfortable being broke, you'll remain broke." How about those scared of taking risk? In the world of finance, risks are inevitable, but that is never an excuse to jump into an investment without thinking. Before taking any step, think first and analyze the situation. For instance, as an investor, you need to be willing to take risks, but this doesn't stop you from researching. A wise investor does a background check and research before making investments, which minimizes the possibility of losses. The moment you invest in anything that seems attractive without being certain, be prepared to keep wasting money on investments that do not yield returns. Remember, not all that glitter is gold. Try as much as possible to avoid get-rich-quick schemes. Come to think of it, if it were so easy to be rich, no one would have to struggle. Avoid hasty and risky decisions if not. Be ready to keep losing your money. Another wrong choice is taking up huge debt to get an MBA with the thought of having an increase in pay. Getting an MBA is a complete waste of time, says the Oracle of Omaha.
The world's second richest man has an MBA but says you don't need one to succeed in business.
How about Elon Musk? MBAs are ruining companies.
There's the MBAization of America, which I think is maybe not that great. There should be more focus on the product, the service itself.
He says. Warren Buffett never gets tired of speaking about business schools. In almost all of his shareholder meetings, Buffett and Munger often criticized MBAs and business schools. Though Buffett has 3 MBAs, he still believes having an MBA won't make you successful in the real world. They believe the MBA is overrated and that the graduates often lack real-world experience. Perhaps learning a soft skill or diversifying your talent will be more profitable than piling up student loans. 5. No budget, savings, or emergency fund. Budgeting is often undervalued because most people in their 30s fail to see its importance. They believe they still have more time ahead to start saving. A budget simply means a spending guide. Just like a product manual guides users on how to operate the equipment, a budget guides you to spend wisely. It doesn't really matter if your income is much or little, you are 30 or 50, you can never go wrong with a budget. Keeping track of expenses is like having a regular medical checkup. Failure to do so shows that you don't care about your financial well-being, and if neglected for a long time, you can go bankrupt. You need to regularly check your cash inflow and outflow, keep track of every dollar, and make adjustments where necessary. How about savings? The importance of saving cannot be overemphasized. It could be saving for a car, house, retirement, an emergency fund, or neutral savings. Whatever you decide to do, be consistent and committed to it. You can open a high-yield savings account, automate your savings, stick to a budget, and reduce your spending. These are some of the ways you can ensure you're consistently saving. The earlier you start saving, the more time you'll have to grow your money and eventually reach your desired savings level. But if you're one among those who see saving strategy as a way of missing out on the fun things, you'll just keep spending until nothing is left to spend. That's all for today. In the comment section, tell us which of these mistakes you are guilty of.